Welcome back to Free Media. I'm Amber Duke.
And I'm Robby Soave. Well, a federal judge has demanded the immediate release of Doge records, slamming the office's, quote, unprecedented power and unusual secrecy.
But the Doge master himself, Elon Musk, insists they are operating under full transparency, and you can see the receipts for yourself. Let's watch.
People criticize, say, what Doge is doing. We say, well, which part specifically? Because we put all of the actions of the Doge team on the doge.gov website and on the Doge handle on X. So we post the receipts. So it's like this action has been taken, this action has been taken. So when we get criticism, we say, like, of what? Which line do you disagree with? Like which cost saving do you disagree with? And then people usually can't think of any.
No.
So
it's transparent line by line.
It's transparent line by line.
Which is quite remarkable.
Yeah, look, I think it's true that they have made information available about, what they're trying to cut, but I'm always in favor of more transparency. They're doing some very transformative things to the federal government, a lot of which I support. The courts are going to be working out this unique arrangement of having this kind of special government employee done through the Digital Services Act, which was used by Obama to approve the Obamacare website, and that's what Doge is now, doing these technical upgrades and looking for areas of waste, fraud, and abuse. The courts are going to reach conclusions about a variety of these things and whether they stand up to scrutiny, and eventually there will be Supreme Court rulings. There was already Supreme Court looking at some of this and deciding, to the point we've been making repeatedly on the show, that yes, there has to be the rescission process, as we talked about just recently, the need to have a government funding bill that actually cuts these things rather than just leaving it up to Elon to be done. But I'm always for more transparency. If journalists want to FOIA, do records requests to look at exactly what's going on. I know it's a private, Elon Musk is the head of private companies, but they're doing government work, and I think it's fine for people to scrutinize it.
Yeah, I'm not going to get up in arms over someone being able to do a FOIA request of Doge emails. That doesn't bother me in the slightest. This is probably one of the least offensive court rulings that I've seen, actually, in regards to what Doge is doing. I mean, in comparison to this federal judge deciding unilaterally that the executive branch doesn't have the power to pause USAID or foreign funding or even all government spending.
Or email. Donald Trump can't email the employees of the federal government. Didn't that come through in some court to say? Or they tried to argue that? Okay. How can you run any organization if you can't contact the people who work for it?
And you're not allowed to give a deadline to when they're supposed to accept this 8-month payout to leave the executive branch. I mean, those are far more egregious than this particular ruling. And we are going to see, I think, the Supreme Court weigh in a lot this term. And one of the blockages there that conservatives have been really upset about is that Amy Coney Barrett has been ruling with liberals on a lot of these process issues. And I think we need to kind of wait and see on this one, because what we are seeing from her is basically she doesn't like the emergency ruling. She wants to wait for the case to actually make its way up to the Supreme Court and then have a full deliberative process with the court once they decide to take up that case, rather than immediately responding to the lower court judges, which I don't necessarily agree with, because when you have lower court judges taking these immense actions against the federal government, sometimes even without proper standing from the people who are suing against what Trump and Doge are doing, then it does behoove the Supreme Court to behave judiciously and quickly and sometimes bombastically. So I would be against Amy Coney Barrett's sort of posture on this, but I wouldn't say that she's reflexively siding with the idea that the executive branch doesn't have power. It's a little bit too early to tell.
Yeah, I agree with that. I saw a lot of the criticisms of Amy Coney Barrett, and I similarly thought, well, let's hold off. Let's wait till see what the court determination they actually arrive at for exactly the reasons you outlined. It should be interesting. Speaking of Elon, there was a cyber attack on Twitter the other day. I was trying to pull Twitter up for information about something we were talking about on Rising, and it was not available, which was sad. He said it was Ukrainian IP addresses, but then some pro-Palestinian group took credit for it. I have no idea, but this happens from time to time. If Facebook's gone down before,
right.
Instagram's gone down before, so it happens.
Yeah, Twitter was down a lot before Elon owned it too. It wasn't that abnormal.
Yeah.
What's a little abnormal are these attacks on Tesla dealerships. There's been like drive-by shootings and firebombing
Some
of charging
firebombing,
stations,
some
and
protests.
a lot of threats, which is
Yeah.
obviously an
Not good.
intimidation tactic and concerning. I think the Trump administration was asked about that today, and they said they're trying to figure out whether this is a coordinated group effort or if this is just a bunch of stragglers who have been radicalized in some way against Elon
Or
Musk
just
and
crazy
Doge.
people
Right,
adopting
right.
whatever is the political
Sure.
veil. And people who've had no interaction with the genuinely like insane or insane people on the streets or people in asylums, they are constantly like the crazy things they say take the form of like anti-Semitism, for example, like ranting about the Jews or something, because that's just a politically salient topic. They scream racial epithets at people or scream about religion or something. They adopt whatever is the language of political salience. So it would not surprise me if some of these are just crazy people who are ranting about Elon because, that's what's out in the ecosystem now.
Yeah, I think the broader issue in regards to this latest ruling is, again, in the broader context of the judicial activism that has tried to hamstring the Trump administration's efforts to actually cut federal spending and basically try to make it legally, if not politically, impossible for them to achieve these quite lofty goals. And again, we're going to have to wait, unfortunately, for the Supreme Court to sort a lot of this out.
Remember when the Democrats' solution to the high price of everything, including cars, was, well, go out and buy a Tesla. And now, don't do that.
I was driving in D.C. the other day and I saw a Tesla with a bumper sticker on the back that said, "I bought this before I knew Elon was crazy."
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, people can do that if they like.
I guess.
That's funny. That's all for today. Tomorrow we'll have even more free media. See you then.